history.
Yeah, we decided not to go to Macau because we're out of money. We're poor.
Well, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, we actually forgot to enable our international withdrawal stuff with BPI. So we're almost in trouble. Good thing we were able to get it done.
Yep. Yeah. So we're safe until Sunday. So no worries there.
What are we gonna do today, baby?
Well, we just actually got done with a very tasty meal at Sui Hua.
Yeah.
Had some delicious seafood and some pork knuckles. Nice little slice of Cantonese cuisine that we had. Gonna go see this history museum. Hopefully get some dim sum at Tim Ho Wan later.
Are we going back there again?
Tim Ho Wan.
Yeah. Oh no, it's a different restaurant. Okay.
Yeah. And then,
Maybe you hold it.
Yeah, and then maybe and then try to take the Star Ferry at some point today, and then get a cool rooftop bar, and I think that'll be about it.
My babe doesn't know how to hold a phone.
No, I don't. That's not one of my skills. But then we're gonna prepare for hiking tomorrow.
Yep. We're gonna do hiking even though I'm in Georgia right now. I walk like a disabled person.
Yep. We're just taking it slow right now. So, but we're having a great. Most importantly, though, we're having a great time. So.
Oh yeah. Bye. Give me a wink there, baby. There you go.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. We are officially on day number 5 of our honeymoon / Hong Kong holiday, and I have to say that this is, this is a fairly interesting place. I mean,
Yeah.
where you kind of have a mix of East versus West, or a mix of East and West, if you will, and one of the things that really, other than of course the obvious things like the food and the architecture, one of the things that I'm just really impressed with is how the city of Hong Kong manages, in the midst of this concrete jungle that you just see all around you, how they manage to preserve all these trees and all this green space right in the middle of all these buildings. I think that more so than any other city I've been to, including Paris, they've done just an absolutely fantastic job of that. And right now we're actually in Hong Kong Park, which is right across from the Victoria Peak tram station. And there's an aviary over there, and this is just beautiful green space around us, right in the middle of this concrete jungle. So Hong Kong is a really interesting place, and I'm glad we came here.
Yeah.
What do you think, babe? Come on, what are your thoughts? I know you have some. You're always, I can look, you're always thinking. What do you think?
I think this is nothing compared to Manila.
Oh yeah.
Just kidding. I don't know, I like the place, I like the city, but I don't like the people.
It's to me it almost kind of, in a way, it almost kind of feels like an Asian New York, where the people are a little bit more edgy, a little bit less patience for you, especially if you're a visitor.
Yeah.
And it's a real hustle and bustle lifestyle here. There's no doubt about that. So I think in that
There's
sense.
a cute right there. There's one egg.
But yeah, I mean, another thing that I don't particularly like about, I mean, I don't really have very many complaints about Hong Kong, but one of the complaints I do have, or one of the main reasons why I wouldn't live here, is just, especially if you're not a real high roller, my feeling is you would have a very, very difficult time living well here and enjoying any kind of quality of life, because when you, especially out in the new territories, further away from central you get, and you see the residences of people that, don't make as much money necessarily, work in the service sectors. You see high-rise apartment building upon high-rise apartment building, and living in one of those buildings, you look out the window, what do you see? Another high-rise apartment building. Not really a backyard view that I would want. So I think that, if you're immune to that kind of thing, then you can probably cope. But, I like to, when I live somewhere, I like to have some open green space and open spaces when I can. So I think unless I was a multimillionaire, here I would have a very difficult time getting that.
You are, babe.
Yeah, you're right, I am.
Yeah, but I think I like the foods outside, like the authentic Chinese foods. Not
yeah.
everything, but I like most of them. Not the hotel service though.
That doesn't
Hotel
count.
food
That doesn't
service
count.
or like expectations versus reality.
What out of all the Cantonese dishes we've had so far, babe, what's been your favorite meal that we've had?
What did we have?
Well, remember today
We had a roasted goose.
we had roast goose,
I
roast
like
duck.
I like the meat of the roasted goose.
Yeah, I did too.
It's so juicy.
It really is. Really, it's one of those things that it almost falls right off the bone. I mean, the meat is really that tender.
Yeah, my babe liked the knuckle. Is that knuckle bone?
The pork
knuckle bone.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah, he likes that one. And I like what's the other one I got? Like the bread with the pork.
Which one was
Like
that?
the bread with the pork inside. Like the one we had on Tim Hortons.
Oh, the barbecue pork dumpling.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, those are good too.
I also like their pork. Like I like the fact that they're able to like maintain a lot of good, clean and artistic parks and free admission. Like they
Yeah.
really like spend a lot of money to make it look good, and they don't let people pay for it. Like we've been to a history museum. It's one of my favorite. And it's free admission. Like we weren't expecting it, because it was really a big building with like a lot of stuff in it, like a lot of historical stuff, and we thought that it's going to cost us something, and yeah, it's free.
Yeah, that is one of the things one of the pleasant surprises, because Hong Kong is one of those places where it feels like you're paying for everything. And a lot of it, I mean, the tram's an obvious exception to this, but pretty much everything tourist related that we've done here has been completely free, which is nice, because it doesn't completely offset the expense of everything else here, but it definitely helps.
What was the park that we've been to last night?
That was called Tamar Park.
Tamar?
Tamar. It's T-M-A-R.
Yeah.
T-M-A-R.
That was cool too. That was cool at night. I don't know though if it's cool in the morning, but at night it was really cool, because you can see the boats.
Yep.
Yeah, the ferry, basically, like you're basically beside the ocean. Is that ocean, baby?
Yeah.
Like the seashore, and you can see a lot of ferries you know, passing by, and you can see the other side of Hong Kong, and they got really artistic stuff in there, and it's free again.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's so clean.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I actually really truly admire about this place. Another thing is how clean every place is that you go to. I mean, you don't see trash anywhere really. Even the subway. The subway is almost completely spotless, in spite of the number of people that ride it all the time.
Yeah.
So.
But one thing that I've noticed though is it's the old people who is not very sensitive enough with, you know, like pushing other people or, you know, hitting them or whatever. It's always the old people that's always like doing that.
Yeah.
Which is so different in the Philippines, because in the Philippines most old people are very respectable and, you know, very sensitive. And here it's kind of different.
Yeah. But all in all, we're having a great time.
Yeah, and the Peak Tram today it's good thing. I think it's good to like go to Peak Tram or Victoria Peak at Monday, because that's when like there's not a lot of people. Like we've been there last Monday at the same hour, and it wasn't really crowded. Well, it was crowded for us, but it wasn't like this today, because we passed there and like there's like hundreds of people in the line.
Yep.
And it was very crowded.
Yeah, I mean, I was telling my babe here a little bit earlier. The Peak Tram and Victoria Peak is one of those. It's probably the #1 attraction here in Hong Kong. So it's one of those things that you do it once, just to say that you've done it when you've been here, and then you probably wouldn't do it again. I mean, I know I wouldn't do it again.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, you can get a lot of nice views in a lot of different places in the cities, and not have to pay a lot to get up there, and not have to constantly fight the crowds everywhere you go.
Yeah.
So.
Peak Tram is a nice experience because, you know, it's like 85 degrees up and you can see building, like it looks like the buildings are slanting and you're also standing slanting. But I wouldn't recommend the 360 view. It's just too expensive for a very crowded rooftop view, whereas you can just, you know, you can just basically go inside the mall and, you know,
yep,
have a view from there.
Yeah, I mean, basically most of those restaurants that you will go to up in that mall up at the Peak have an outdoor balcony that you can go out onto, and as long as you order a drink or get an appetizer or something, you can go there. I mean, there's no reason to pay the extra expense to go out on that on the terrace when you're going to have to fight people just to get a good picture. So, you know, so if I have a little bit of advice, it would be just pay for the return ticket for the tram. Don't bother with the terrace.
It's so crowded.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, all right. Well, we are currently enjoying the nice serenity and tranquility of which is a rare thing in Hong Kong, I might add. Enjoying the Hong Kong park and enjoying the birds chirping. So we'll check in with y'all later.
Y'all.